Hi guys. So the first part of this podcast, is us talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. So you're gonna hear us, reviewing it, giving our thoughts.
This was before we saw the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. At the end of this, you will hear our thoughts after we've seen the episode, and they may be a bit different. Maybe a bit different. Little disclaimer.
I strongly urge you, strongly advise you to listen to the end of this podcast because opinions may differ.
All right, so I've been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I know before I was poo-pooing it, saying, "Oh, why these two guys like what is going on with these?" I think I didn't put it in other podcasts, but I did say like the Robins. Why are the Robins like getting together to do a film? But
that's true.
But you know what? It's all right. So far, what are you thinking?
I like it. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think it's very action heavy, which is good. It's good. Like even from the first episode, it's a lot of action. They're bringing what's his name, that fighter in it, George St. Pierre, and then they're fighting. There's a lot of it. I like the action. I like the way it's just like, I don't know how to describe it, because it's even though they don't have, or Falcon don't have like superpowers. I like the way they portray him flying through the air, and you know what I mean. It's good. It's a good balance between them, because one of them's a super soldier, the other one's like the Iron Man kind of. You know what I mean? And I like it. And I like the other. Yeah, and I like the other storyline they got going beside it with the Captain America. I like that the side storyline. So I think it's decent.
Nice. Guys, if you're listening to this, by the time you listen to this, we would have been like 6 episodes in. So you're gonna hear spoilers. That's just how we go on this podcast. But I remember, I think in the last podcast, I was there running out my mouth saying about how I want to see powers all the time. And actually, they, like Josh says, the balance is nice because they don't have like major powers, but they utilize that super serum strength, so you get that nice bit of action, and the storyline is pretty good.
Well, this is the thing. I think that they've gone back to kind of, in a way, they've done it quite cleverly, because they've done it in a kind of tried and trusted Marvel format, compared to like, say, WandaVision, that obviously I'm comparing it to that because that's the last thing that came out. They've gone back to the tried and trusted format, but what they've done, which is really good, is that the perspective of who's good versus who's bad and what side you're on is all very blurred. So more kind of like on an X-Men vibe, do you know what I mean? Where it's like, these people are like, like one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter, that kind of vibe. That has made it quite an interesting storyline, because you don't know exactly how it's going to end. It's not that predictable, even though, like I said, it's quite formulaic in a way, in that it's more, it's got that, it's that Captain America vibe, isn't it? It's that whole espionage,
Civil War. It's like Civil War, like you're saying.
It's an extension of that part of Avengers, but at the same time, it's very like I saw people on message boards talking about too woke and all this type of shit. But like, I feel that that's what's endearing about it, because it's not like, oh, America's great and this is what's good about it. These are the good characters because they're fighting for America. It's all blurred and it's all relevant. It's a lot of like relevant kind of topics that are kind of occurring during the show. Do you know what I mean? And that makes it more relatable just as casual watchers, but then also, like I said, I don't think it's very predictable. I can't really see, you know what I mean? It could go either way.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I'm liking about it. I like the fact that we honestly don't know where this is going. Like, and what I like as well is that they're giving another layer to the blip. So
yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we watched Avengers and the blip, it's just like we were all like sad the blip happened and happy that it came, that it was rectified. Yet now we're seeing that the damage that was caused for 5 years. 5 years, people had new relationships. That's all we saw. We just saw, 5 years, some people got married and didn't know that their man had gone and all of that. But now we're finding out that the government changed, the way that countries work together changed.
Yeah.
And the blip, and then all of a sudden they come back and it's like you got to go back to normal.
Yeah,
see that? My brain is like,
it adds weight to like what Thanos was doing. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
It shows that Thanos kind of had a point.
I mean, if you got the tea, you just double the resources. You don't half the world. You double the resources.
Yeah. But like, obviously, I think that's what they're trying to get.
Yeah, but that's also, the eugenics theory. Like, if you think about it, like Thanos is a eugenicist. Like he basically is that theory that, you know, the world's overpopulated, so I'm gonna get rid of half of it. Obviously not himself, but half of it to keep the world going. And that's a commentary.
And also, when you really check what he did, it was merciful. Nobody felt any pain. All these people
that's true. That's true.
No, but the people that had lost felt pain. It didn't wipe no one's memory.
It should have been a real comic book one where, like Rachel said, it should have wiped memories.
That would have been better.
Yeah.
If Thanos had done the blip, wiped memories, then it would have been painless for everyone. But like, 1 minute your daughter's there, your child's there, and then it comes back.
People should not remember that these people ever existed. That's what it should have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. It should have been like that. And they should have but it is good. I was gonna say, where is that girl from? We know that girl. She's from another kind of superhero British show, isn't she? The girl, the main protagonist.
This girl with the ginger hair.
She's Agent Carter's granddaughter or something, isn't it?
Oh no, but we've seen her in British stuff. Like, forget in the MCU.
She's been in something else. She's been in something else. I think she might have been in like Black Mirror or something. I'm not sure.
I swear she's been in some kind of superhero-y kind of like British.
She's been in a few things because she got quite this distinctive face. So
she looks like? She looks like Orphan Black. She looks like one of the Orphan Black personas. Do you know that program?
Which one?
I don't know, but I've definitely seen her in something. It's not like she's
like some kind of Raised with Wolves. What's that one called? Raised with Wolves. She's like some.
No man.
I've seen Raised with Wolves. She's not in that.
She looks like the Orphan Black girl. She looks like, because basically in Orphan Black there's like 7 different of them. They're all clones, isn't it? And there's different personas, and one of them looks like she does. Like,
right.
That's what I thought of. But I don't know if I've seen her.
I've definitely seen her in chat.
She's well familiar though.
Someone was saying to me, big up Nephilim. He was this guy was saying on Facebook or something. He was saying that what would be a good idea is if they did stories about normal people during the blip, like about the blip, that was nothing to do with superheroes.
Oh, see, I can't. Do you know why I can't? You don't know why I wouldn't be able to watch that, because there's a misunderstanding thing. Because I'd be sitting there going, "Don't worry, in 5 years they're coming back," and then they'll be all getting remarried and worrying if their partner's dead, and I'll die. I'd die.
That's like with any prequel type, going back, flashback type stuff. Do you know what I mean? You know what's you know what comes to the end. Like, you know what I mean? But
that's the worst thing for me. When I think seeing a character go through turmoil when I know that there's a solution. That's worse. Yeah. So, but when I watched, like, you know, when Thanos did the click, we didn't know what was going on. We were like, what? That's different. But yeah, to watch a whole series of people, like, their daily lives, I'll be stressed out watching that. Stressed. But I have to say, you know, I was mildly surprised because I was not about to rate this. And when it first started with the cheesy, like, the opening was like your typical. Yeah, the
opening was really cheesy.
Yeah, and it was James Bond-esque, and he's all like jumping out with
it was just typical, innit? It wasn't like
Condor Man, like
it was nothing. Yeah, it was nothing different. It was like, save a man, extract the guy off the plane. Like, it was all bait, like had been done before. And then
it was exactly James Bond. James Bond.
Yeah.
So it wasn't any different.
But now it's good, and this guy that's playing Captain America. I don't know about the other black guy. I'm not even. He's just irrelevant to me. But the guy that's playing Captain America, some sidekick.
He's just there for emotional source. That's all. Right, really.
So all he does is just like walk around Screwface and
he just ad lib. He's just ad lib.
I bet he's got no script. I bet he's got no script.
He's coming like Spliff Star, like.
Hype man. Yeah.
Just straight hype man. He's just like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what, that guy, the Captain America, I wasn't sure because that guy's from Black Mirror as well. That Wyatt, whatever his name is, Wyatt Russell. He's from He's been in Black Mirror.
Yeah.
But I remember when I saw him at first, I was like, nah. But I think that's the whole point. I think that's the whole point, isn't it? They want you to not be on his side, even from the beginning, before any of the, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but before any of the storyline unravels, they want you not to root for him. I think that's the point of them getting him. If they got someone that you were like, all right, this is Captain America, let's go, like, then it wouldn't have, it wouldn't have the desired effect. I think they wanted you to,
he looks like Roger Ramjet, man. Like.
Hey, yo, let me address this real quick. See this Captain America shield. What technology is behind that shield? Because when they're talking about my man's a human and he's dashing this shield, and it's bouncing off things. What is the technology behind that shield?
It's just vibrating.
But I thought it was Captain America's strength that made it sick like that.
No, it was vibranium, innit? So it's
so my man can throw it.
I don't know why it does like that boomerang thing. I don't know what
that's what I'm saying. Like,
maybe he throws it on a spinny, innit? Like when you throw something on a spinny, maybe.
But it's not a natural way that he does it. When he does it, it's like it does a superhuman bounce.
Right hooks, like, and it's going mad.
Like it goes around corners and stuff, like
you know, just didn't grow up in the frisbee age. Listen, when we used to buy like frisbees, the adverts, right? The man was like doing all madness of it. You're like, oh, I want one.
Flip that.
Yeah. I agree with what Josh is saying. I do feel like the shield is a bit too.
Maybe they've built in some extra like tech, but then it's got the same old leather strap as well at the back. When I saw that shield, I was like, what kind of like did like? Couldn't they should have made it realistic? Something better, because that's
they should have given man a glove.
Give
man a magnetic glove to make it come
back. That would have made sense.
Back like electronic or something. Like not like my man dashing it as a human.
That would be good.
Some sort of Stark tech that controls it, like my man has red wings. You know what I mean?
Exactly that.
Also, let me ask that. Let me address that question. Right? So they got all this Stark tech here, but Stark is dead. So how are these mans able to just fix this stuff so easily? Like I see him just like picking it apart.
Yeah, because he's apparently he's like sick. Like he can do it himself. Apparently,
who?
Falcon was doing it himself, innit?
He wasn't a mad scientist. He wasn't amazing. He's not Stark.
No, he's a counselor.
No, actually, no. Wait. What is he a counselor? I swear in the comics. What is he in the comics? I don't even know what he is in the comics.
I can't remember what he is in the comics, but I know in the film he was a counselor first, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's not like an amazing scientist.
He's not that's not his thing.
What I like about Winter Soldier, Bucky, is that he has they haven't made him too angsty. Like, yes, he has a dark past, he's got demons, but it's not all consuming. You know. So there is that thing with like the Chinese guy and that there, but it's not like completely taking over his life. Like,
I agree.
That's true.
Shit like that. Long.
But you know,
or like Punisher or something like that.
Yeah, like Punisher. Exactly. Like, oh god, I would have just been like,
yeah, that's true. I like as well the fact that he's like, like you don't really look at him the same way as you look at Captain America. Like, Captain America was from back in the day, innit? I wasn't even looking at him like that. Like until they talking in the thing with that.
You can't.
I was like, oh, okay, I forgot. Like,
he's adapted.
Been through the same thing.
Yeah,
he's like the right. He's like the Ken to the Ryu, innit?
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. I don't like how they reintroduced Zemo. I'm not really now. Like as it's gone on, I've kind of gotten used to it. But at the start, I was kind of like, that's not really like believable. Like how they've just made him all just like part of the team. But now they've made him more like as it's gone along. They've made him. You never know if you can really trust him. But I think his acting as well. It's a bit hammy. Like it's a little bit hammy.
Yeah, he's a bit comedy villain, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit hammy, and I think they did that as well because it's like you keep thinking that you can't trust him, and then he comes through, and you keep thinking that you can't trust him, and then he comes through, and it's like that's
Loki basically. He's Loki.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's good in a way, but it is a little bit cliche because you always have like you've had them kind of films before where they kidnap a villain and then they get him to help them, but they never know if they can trust him, and they always got to keep their eye on him.
He always has a little bandulu, and then it was for the good of the mission.
Yeah.
It's like they wrote the story. They wrote the like they had that character set up. Like who can we put in? Who can fit in this spot here? Like, who can we get? Like
It's always a bit like, you know what? I tell you what line I didn't like. I just thought was so, my toes just curled, and I don't care. Like, it could be a spoiler or not. When they were talking about Marvin Gaye, yeah, and then
all of that.
And then he goes, you know, it's a great reflection on, which is right. He said it's a great depiction of the Black American experience, like post-war, whatever. And then the fact that like Falcon's like, he's out of line, but he's right. How is he out of line? He's just stating fact, like,
it was that bit.
Watch your mouth, man.
That was a bit. That was a bit too. There is certain moments where they lay it on a little bit thick with that kind of stuff when you're like, it's not really necessary. Like when they went to Little Kid and he's like, Black Falcon.
Yeah, that was like what? Like what? Man. I got him. Nah.
I got him, didn't I?
I got him, didn't I? Nah.
Some Fox News type of.
I'm telling you, it's like we were saying about the other stereotypes. Like you've got stuff like that, yeah. And then you've got like I said, why is it when it's always like tough scenes, they always go into some Eastern European-esque like nightclub, and it's like music, and then it's everyone's dressed like it's 2001, and it's just awful.
Everyone looking like a scene out of Blade, like, you know what I
mean? And I've never seen the amount of clubs I've gone to, right? The amount of clubs, right? And
I've all look like an ecstasy, man.
Always, but you don't think about it, the amount of clubs we've gone to and behind the scenes of clubs. So if you know DJs, you know promoters, you've gone to the back scene of the club. There's never like a room with a gangster like with a safe counting money. Like always is like some room like.
You know what else? Like you know what else is bogus? Like this guy is Falcon, yeah, and you're telling me my man is just like. Wearing off all these people, no one can recognize him. Nobody can recognize him. Yeah, he's just in normal face. No one's seeing him. People know what he looks like. No one recognizes him. Like he can pretend to be some.
Like Falcon.
Like it's some like old school comedy. Like he's pretending to be someone else.
They always like think he's someone else. They always think he's like a next black hero. Like. So aren't you from this or that?
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about in the club. Like how is
when he was meant to be that African in that wallpaper jacket. And you know that jacket's probably designed by some young up and coming African student. That jacket looked like something out of Beyonce's Black is King video. Like long live the king, long live the king, no end. You are the king. Top everything, you the king, you know. Like that jacket was straight off of Jay-Z letting that jacket to them, man. Like, this is Africa. This looks so like what are you doing? But that's how they do the club scenes. They never, and also like the tough guy scenes, when they have villains, they're believable. So superhero villains are, to me, they're believable. But when they try and do bad man villains, like just ordinary black guy, bad man villains, or Russian guy, it just don't come over, man.
Yeah, it's always like cheesy.
Yeah, like, their classic acting comes through too much. Yeah,
classic 80s, like that 80s stereotype guy, like
muscle man with a little vest and like mum jeans. Ready, watch your mouth.
What you say, sucker?
And then he like stops it with one punch. Like, shut up. And they still do it. And the fight scenes are still where they wait for like the other person to do the tump before they come in and do the tump.
Yeah.
Like when she's like killing. Like these people will be dead. Like, no, everybody's waiting for their like, let me wait till these drop down. And then
my turn. You know what I like? When Zemo like pushed someone into like he pushed someone into the beef. Like, I'm like, how are you pushing man into the beef?
Like playground.
Like, what's this?
Fight. But overall, guys, what are we thinking so far compared to One Division? What are we thinking?
It's different. I don't want to shit on One Division. I liked it to a point. Obviously, the end was a bit of a damp squib, but it was alright. But like, this is much more classic Marvel vibes.
Yeah,
it's definitely like it's like an extension of that Captain America world. They've made that quite clear.
Yeah,
and I think it fits in quite well. I think it's a good storyline. I think the plot's not too like I said, it's not too predictable. And I'm interested. I'm just interested to see where they're gonna go with it. I'm interested to see who what's the guy? that they keep talking about in Marrakesh or whatever in Madripoor. The I can't remember what his name is. This big boss guy that they keep talking about. Yeah. I'm interested to see who that is. If that's going to be a big reveal and be like someone that we already know, or if it's just going to be some random person. But it seems like it could be someone significant.
I'm not getting my hopes up. After WandaVision, I'm not expecting
no big reveal.
Josh was so gassed.
Like this,
we're going to see like Magneto. Doctor Strange is coming.
Or somebody should have come down. This is the thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't even start watching it. I started watching that like I probably finished the last, what is it, 4 episodes now? 5?
Yeah.
4? I don't know.
5?
Yeah.
Well, I just finished it this week, brother. I didn't start watching that when it came out. Yeah, man. I was like, nah, let me see what they're doing first, and then I'll watch it.
Right.
I'm looking forward to see if there are any new characters. Just like with WandaVision, when we got Agnes, I want to see if like we get any interesting Marvel characters that pop in. I don't know if they're going to get anybody that's mega powerful, because it seems like it's all about the super soldier serum, and there's not much CGI going on, so budget ain't there.
Yeah.
You know, I have to say, this is my only kind of, not criticism, but everybody was so gassed online when what they call the warriors from Wakanda.
Yeah.
When they came. I want to say Mandalorian. They're not Mandalorian, but they sound their things sound like Mandalorian.
The Dora Milaje.
Thank you.
Dora Milaje.
So everybody was getting gassed when the Dora Milaje appeared, yeah, and it was nice. But I'm not going to be bad, right? But because it didn't have my main girl in it, yeah, the one who was in Walking Dead, it was like a Dora Milaje tour. It was like knockoff.
It was like a B.
Like you weren't there. You weren't there.
They got the one.
Any black girl with no hair.
Yeah, no, I think she was from the movies, but I think they just got like the one that they could afford. Like, which one's going to be like most cheap? Like, who's going to be the cheapest one of them to get? He goes, they couldn't get what's her name? They couldn't get Walking Dead girl, Michonne. But yeah, like this is why one of the ones in the background. It's just like,
it's for knockoff. I was like, B&M version. Like,
why she by herself? Like, it's not saying it never go like that.
It was so
together, like what?
Just rolling alone, like, and then these other ones coming. It was just like, it was so like cosplay. Let's get some girls that look like it, and it was, and then you go online, everybody's like, when you touched her shoulder, I knew it was over.
That was blatantly to get the ratings up, because they're like, if they introduce something from Black Panther, that people are going to be like, it's the Black Panther girls, like, you know what I mean? So they're just going to get like, people, it will get more, it'll get another buzz. Remember, it's right in the middle of
fishing, man.
Episode 5, right in the middle of the season.
It wasn't as gassy as like the internet. It was probably Marvel's PR team, like their internet PR team, because I was like, that's nice, but they weren't. It was rubbish. It wasn't rubbish.
There's no reason for it. There's no reason.
You know what else? You know what else? I've been reading that apparently the storyline had to get rewritten. That's what I read, because apparently the storyline was about a pandemic. It was like some disease that was that. Did you see that woman that died? Yeah. Sorry, obviously.
Whatever, man. Listen, if they ain't come this far, they ain't come this far. Yeah, I know.
You see the woman that died, who's that
their auntie, or they call her the mother. Honoring.
Yeah. So apparently she died of a disease, and this disease is supposed to be going around, yeah. And they've had to, like, when you go to certain scenes, they've chopped and screwed the scenes to, like, they've like done voiceovers on certain bits.
Oh my god!
Because obviously, apparently, when they were writing it, this is not kind of half speculation where they've kind of dissected how it's been edited. But when they've looked at it, they've said, some things don't really. They've kind of glossed over certain parts, but they've done it quite well. But it's quite blatant. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like they're saying that there was like a some sort of disease, but they changed it because obviously while they were writing it, pandemic happened, didn't it? And they didn't want to. I was thinking that's a bit silly, man. You should just do it anyway, man. If anyone gets like triggered, whatever, man, like, it makes it more relevant.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So with Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're watching it. We're like traumatized kids. who, you know, we've been let down so many times, that we don't want to trust it.
Exactly.
You're not ready to trust it because, as I said, I'm just looking for new characters. I'm just looking for cameos. The story's all right. It's your usual espionage. There's got to be a twist somewhere. They're talking about Hydra, aren't they? They're talking about Hydra. So we might see some new characters come out. But I don't think we're going to get any huge superhero characters because then lasers can't really fight super serum. So, you know, this new super serum is like, isn't it meant to have like defects in it? And that's the thing. How did the guy manage to get it? Because he got a little bit of blood somewhere and he managed to develop the super serum. Lord God. Just like.
Okay. What happened? Yeah, I told you, lot. I told you already. Do not trust Disney. Do not trust Disney.
Cheese fest.
What was going on? Let's break it down. Like, I want to start, I want to talk about how I had high hopes that once again, and Marvel let me down. So why did it go cheesy? Where was the first bit of cheese? When did the cheese start creeping in, you lot?
I think it was.
I don't know. I feel like from the beginning of the episode, from the jump, it kind of just started going down a cheesy route. And I think that, like, they were trying to wrap it all up neatly in a bowl. And I feel like there were so many loose ends. Like, there should have been like a few more episodes. Because the season as a whole, watching it, the other 5 episodes, it wasn't bad before. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like, I didn't feel this way before. Do you know what I mean? It felt like if they'd have kind of stretched it out a bit more and fleshed out all the storylines, then they could have ended it well. But I felt like, all right, it's like they decided, this is the last episode. So by hook or by crook, we're going to end everything and everything's going to get wrapped up. And it was just damn squib. And then as well, I mean, you know, the obvious thing is the Captain America thing. Sorry, I know I had to jump to that. I know it's not the first cheesy thing.
Say it, Joe.
You know what? But that's the first thing you see. That is the first thing you see. Like the first thing that comes. That's when I knew this was rushed. That's when I knew it. I said, "What? This is rushed."
And it was like the suit was horrible. Like I haven't seen anywhere. Like pretty much everyone is in universal agreement that suit was horrible.
It looked like a car. It looked like a Ferrari interior. It looked like one of them fast supercar interiors. Like it just looked like made out of that foam that you use.
It looked like someone made a cosplay outfit out of like 4 different superhero suits.
Mishmash.
And he got that from Wakanda. They took that out of the storage cupboard.
Mate, the thing is that the joke.
They're like Captain Who, America. Oh, take this.
They don't rate him at all.
He looked like one of them kind of like mascots you see in like the shopping center, like Two-Face Man or something like.
Yeah. Or them real life superheroes, like real life superheroes that go in like Seattle or
whatever. The dancers like on road.
Yeah, it looked like a breakdance outfit. It looked like electric boogaloo like outfit.
It was shocking. It was shocking to the point where think about it. Let's like really think about it. He got that suit from Wakanda. It came in like a watertight.
Well, we gassed about that suit. We didn't see that suit for how many? Like for a whole episode, we're like, "Oh, what's going on?"
What looking in it, it was all light up. It all lit up. When you opened it. And the worst thing, let's just rewind a bit. Don't forget when Chadwick Boseman, rest his soul. Remember when he was getting fitted out with that suit. Remember his sister was all like had it in the lab and they were all testing it and it was all like state of the art. Where did they get that suit from? That was not tested in no lab. They got that. That was like literally from the Nollywood version. Do you know what I mean?
It was cool. It's like it's like they cut the helmet with a Stanley knife out of flipping polystyrene and that stuff you used to pad studios with when you want it to be soundproof. Like.
And what was them skiing glasses? Them skiing goggles. That
I've got them for cycling.
In Ibiza, like what is that?
Oh my god! From Sports Direct goggles,
and they're all wonky, like.
No. I want to know why was his head top all out the door, like it just looks stupid.
Yeah, like why is his forehead all out the door? Like Nah, man. It was just like, make up your mind. Either what they should have done, yeah. I know that's his suit, yeah. In
and
the
we
comics,
know it's
yeah.
the comic, but it didn't come over.
But
Sorry,
you don't have to copy the comics. They don't always copy the comic suits. Yeah, they could have if they'd just took if they'd just took off that helmet part. Yeah, it wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah, it's the
If he'd
helmet
have just
on the
had the
side.
suit on,
Silly.
if he'd have just had the suit on, like, you know, without the helmet part, it wouldn't have been so silly. The helmet part made it look like some Meteor Man type of nonsense, like, you know them early 90s,
Captain Planet, like.
Yeah, why would you do that? Why would they do that? Like, that's not even a logical. Like, what?
It was so bad, and also it just got hammier and hammier. Like, it was like, the girl, you know, like the terrorists, yeah, like it went like the last thing we saw, right, in episode 5 was they shut down that like kind of United Nations place where they were doing their kind of meeting. And all these like red lights came on. That made me laugh. Like, oh, you went and switched out red bulbs in the whole place. So you switched it down and you went and put red light bulbs in there, yeah. And then you thought, oh, it's about to go down, and it just turned into a pantomime, like mad fighting. And then you got the side story of the real Captain America, the old Captain America, with that Seinfeld actress.
Yeah, why was she exactly the same character as flipping?
I thought that
she was the same character as
Agnes, isn't it?
Agatha Christie or whatever her name was. Agatha
Christie.
Agnes, whatever her name was.
Was it Hark? Agnes Hark. Yeah, that's it.
Agatha Harkness. She was the same character. Why was she all like Cruella de Vil? Like, why
winking all the time? It was like awful Nicolas Cage, like rubber face.
Up the thing.
Oh,
nah, it was poor. And another
what was
thing,
her point?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, she's gonna be like
Hydra. She's some Hydra thing, isn't she?
Yeah, they're leading to something. Yeah, but like, what another thing that pissed me off was that when he was Captain America all of a sudden, and it all, you know, everyone's standing around in racial harmony, and then he was like, you know, you're lecturing all the senators or whatever.
God.
And they're just looking at their, staring at their feet. Like, I'm like, that's so like, that's more far-fetched than actually having superheroes in the first place. Having them like senators or whatnot, staring at their feet and like being like, yeah, you're right, yeah, you're right, yeah. Like, you shouldn't do this. It's like, whatever, that wouldn't happen. These men will be talking about leftists and this and that and rare and making it into a whole thing about Democrats. Like, they'll be making it. There was no way they'll all stand there and just stare at their feet like while he's just lecturing them in the flipping stupid wonky goggles. Like, nah.
But that super soldier serum. Like, he's just regular. He's just
regular man.
He's just a civilian.
He's a human being with metal wings and
man.
a drone.
And what was that stupid little power pack in his back? He's fighting, yeah. He was fighting. What's her name? What? Let me remember her name. Carly. So he's fighting Carly, who's literally the boss level, of flipping the mutant kids, right? And all he's doing is some kind of like little booster in his backpack, like getting pushed forward to push her.
He's got that's flying. Yeah, go on, Red Wing, fly to people. Foolishness, like.
That should not have been an even fight. It should not. He should not have been able to do that to that girl.
No, of course not.
No way. All them fights with them flag smashers, it was just bait, because apart from US agent, the US agent guy, apart from him,
he like
Captain America, the other Captain America, the one that ended up smashing up the guy with his shield. Yeah. Apart from him having it and fighting against them and Bucky. Yeah, there's no way that Sam should have been. He should have been sitting on the sidelines. There's no way that he should have been even in them fights. He should have been
boss level fight. It took him 3 months, and it actually like throwing that flipping frisbee. Was making him stronger. You know, they do like a training montage.
Yeah.
All that training montage, and then it was ridiculous. And like you said, him lecturing about, you know, everyone come together, and then at the end when he was fighting and that black guy was like, that's Captain America. It was like, are we in the 80s? Why don't they just do a jump in the air freeze frame at the end, you know, like to make sure that it was happy. Or do like, you know, like when they do round, remember them 80s films, clapping, they all like give a round of applause.
Oh, man. It's so bad. You know what someone said to me, actually? You know what? Someone said to me when we were talking about it, and they were saying, like, as well, it's a very valid point, yeah? How come when Steve Rogers, got the serum, he went all hench, like, and he was all wedged, like, he went from some skinny rake to hench, and these lot don't even, like, nothing happens to them.
Yeah, she was like a little girl.
Nah, but come on, this remember that serum was made back in World War II, like.
Yeah, but the old black guy was.
And then it should be even better. They should be
exactly.
Yeah, but that's not what you want, innit? It's want it to be slimline. You don't want it to be like your bait super soldier all wedge. You want it to be like, okay, you're still normal woman.
All right, Josh, are you in the lab?
You're
because
strong.
I agree with Joel, and like even the old black guy, like, you know, because they were referring to the Tuskegee experiments when they injected guys with syphilis. The thing is, what I don't like, right, with Hollywood, is it's so corny. I think at least like other countries have just got a little bit more finesse about it. They just like crowbar shit in, like, let's chuck the Tuskegee thing in there, boom. Oh, how could you do this to us? And then you get that angsty like black American guy, and they could have done it a lot better. Like, and then you had like the grandson, right? He hated Sam, and then all of a sudden coming out to like Sam when he saved the world. Like,
yeah. Do you know what? That was the thing about it. It was like there was a lot of good ideas, and it could have been something better. I think the first thing they should have done is made it longer. It didn't need to be 6 parts. They should have made it longer. Then they would have had time to flesh out all these storylines. They could have, you know what I mean? Because
they could have fleshed him out. They could have fleshed out because at the end of the day, he's an actual character, isn't he? Oh gosh, the old guy.
Bradley. Yeah,
So they could have really fleshed him out. Like, they could have gone back to see how did that happen. Let's go and get revenge on those guys. Or are they hiding like special papers?
This thing didn't know what it wanted to be. It was like it was trying to be like a long movie, just like a 6-hour movie or whatever. But it was not. It didn't know how to get to its destination. It had loads of good ideas in it. You know what I mean, it was like obviously the whole flag smashers thing. That was an amazing idea to have them as the quote unquote villains, because it was like that whole take on like Antifa and all of that kind of these modern ideas. Yeah, so it was the ideas of state versus people, and how Captain America fits onto that kind of spectrum, and all of that is like a really good idea. So when it started and I realized that that's what the storyline was, I was like, yeah, this is a sick idea. This is good, because obviously we don't know. It's blurring the line between who's the righteous characters and who are the evil characters, so to speak, or again, inverted commas, evil characters. But like by the end, it was like all of that never went anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like, oh, like it's okay. Yeah. You just killed Carly, and then it was just like
that.
What really did they achieve? What really was the like? Obviously, he said he made that whole speech about terrorists and whatever, but it wasn't. It didn't feel like it was. It didn't feel like an achievement. It didn't feel like we didn't make that journey. I didn't feel like I went on that journey with it. Like, do you know what I mean? It was just like it was just like half-hearted and half-assed. Like, do you know what I mean? And it was it. And I think that made me more mad, because it was like he had such a good idea there, and they just fucked it up.
They literally, because
messed it up.
When they talk about, you're right. When it was like you said about the ideas. It's just the execution was terrible, but I find that a lot in Hollywood films. It's like they wrap it up in a bow, and then everybody claps at the end, and someone sheds a tear, and someone takes their hat off and throws it in the air, and then that's the end. It's done. Yeah. But like they killed the 2 top like villains just deaded in the space of like a few minutes, and it was like, and then when she was dying, the girl had she really believed in this cause, but then. When she's dying, she's like, I'm scared. Like, what? Like, she should have gone out in a blaze of glory. Like,
I'm sorry as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure she said I'm sorry as she was dying. Like, hold on. She said she was saying all of this to their whole chest, like, and then all of a sudden you're sorry, and then they're making them have a moment. It was like, okay, we get that there was supposed to be some sort of bond between them, but again, they didn't earn that moment. Do you know what I mean? I felt like again they didn't get to that point where they earned that moment. They had a couple of little conversations, but they didn't earn that moment for that to be like a big emotional part. Do you know what I mean? And
and you're right when you like, and also the I'm sorry bit, right? If you think about it, it's a bloody oxymoron because you got her saying I'm sorry, but then you got Sam telling off the senators, effectively saying she's right. So what the hell? But it's that whole thing of like trying to be like, you know, terrorism's bad and you know and we need to be good. And then I tell you what I didn't like as well, that when it goes to the museum, this man was a stalwart anti-American black guy. They fucked him up. They fucked his whole life up. He didn't get to see his wife. He was imprisoned. He, you know, effectively was treated like an outcast. Yeah. And then he's reduced to tears because a picture of him is in the Smithsonian Museum.
Oh, is it a statue, innit?
Yeah. And a bronze statue. Like,
see, that's what I'm saying. Even all of that, it was like they arrived at that conclusion too quickly. That's like the Disneyfication of it. It's like it seemed like Disney overruled whatever the
say that,
is.
Joel, say that again. The Disneyfication of it.
Yeah, it seems like whatever, like Disney overlords decided, like you need to wrap this all up in a nice bowl. So it doesn't matter how you get there. If it's 6 parts, make it happen, make it work. Do you know what I mean? And it's like it didn't earn all of that stuff that happened in the last episode. It didn't earn it. Do you know what I mean? Like you're watching it halfway through thinking, this must be a next episode. I swear.
That's what I said to you.
It's one of you that said that.
It was me. It was me.
Oh, when's the next one? It's like, because it didn't feel like it was ended. Like,
it didn't. But didn't you send the thing saying it was the story was changed? Do you think that's
that's what I was about to say? That's what I was just about to say.
About the pandemic.
There was rumors about that, about how and like from multiple places that the storyline wasn't supposed to be like, the storyline had something about a pandemic or about a virus, within the storyline, and that's what had happened to Mama Donya. That's how she died, and that's why that whole storyline didn't really make sense. Like, really, it's just they kept touching on it, but it didn't really make sense how she was just dead. Like, do you know what I mean? And so apparently this virus was killing off people, but obviously because of the pandemic, they want to upset or trigger no one, so they changed it. Do you know what I mean? And
that's Disney again, isn't it?
Again, like and like I get that,
you know what?
At the same time, Netflix don't care. Netflix been putting up all them films like from 1995. Like, so why are you like, Disney, man? Like, too sensitive.
They probably had some storyline where it was like a virus, and then these guys get the virus, but they get strong instead, didn't it? And then they was like, no, we can't do that.
It's ridiculous. And let me say, obviously, before anyone gets triggered by my last point, I'm not trying to be insensitive towards anyone or the family who's been affected by COVID or nothing like that. Obviously, it's a crazy time. But I'm saying,
it's the time we're living in. We can't hide it.
Tell your stories with your whole chest, because there will be other pandemics in life, and you can't. You know what I mean? Tell your stories, like, you know,
the whole chest.
Utopia came out same way, bro. And Utopia was there same way, so
exactly. So and you know what? I think that it's gonna, because they were saying, I've been watching lots of different things about like the Marvel stuff going forward, and they're saying that it's kind of messed up a lot of the canon, because for instance, I think Black Widow was supposed to come out before this, so there was a character they had to cut. Apparently, there was a character.
But you know what?
They had to cut a character who was in Black Widow from this.
See,
and apparently Steve did it as well at some point.
To me, watching these series, it's like they, you know, when like Marvel have all their shit planned out and they show you the timeline and it's like, oh, they got this and that. It's like they don't really have their timeline down at the moment, and they're just leaving shit open. So like they're just leaving like Sharon, like they just left it open, like they're like US agent, he's there to be used. Vision's gone, like he's just there to be used sometime. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they just left open bare things, and then they're gonna try and mold it into something along the way, innit? But I don't think they got shit down at the moment.
Yeah,
that Falcon, these Disney things are just not the one.
It was the costume for me, mate. The costume was like, when it was like, I was like, you know, you're just so shocked. My mouth was just open.
This is the thing. Like, that's what they did. I think they did the costume. They just rammed it in, so you didn't have a choice. Like, you didn't even see how it was made. You didn't see nothing. Like, you didn't see nothing. Like, you didn't see where it come from. You didn't see nothing. You just see it just there. Like, it's there. First thing I saw in the episode was the costume.
It's like, you know, it's like they
rewind, did. Like, what?
It's like they John Boyega'd him. Like how Disney did John Boyega for Star Wars. Yeah. It's the same way they've done this guy, because if you think about it, right, that could have been a whole merchandise thing. Like you could have had pop figures of him dressed. You could have had like costumes for little black boys that would want to, copy Falcon. Ain't no kid want to go like that to a party now.
Nope.
They stick to.
I was checking online. They got the costumes. The costumes are there. Like looks like the real thing.
Listen, black kids are gonna stick to Black Panther. They're just gonna stick to Black Panther.
Yeah,
maybe they're hoping to do another Black Panther hero. Like it died.
That's the thing. They can't do Black Panther again. They made the most, like they got the most black audience from that film, and my man just fucked up their plans.
And that's what they were trying.
Now it's like,
but maybe that's what they were trying to do. They probably thought like money making, like get him as the black guy.
Black people gonna be like, oh yeah.
There is what 6-year-old black boy is gonna want to put that on Joshua?
Nah. It's like you said, Black Panther. Panther all the way.
There's no way. So it looks, and he hasn't got any super soldiers to. I would have loved him to build it. I know in the comics, for Falcon, he's meant to have like
he's a scientist. This is the thing.
But also he's got extrasensory abilities, and he can communicate with birds. What happens? I'm sure Falcon can communicate with birds.
What kind of bullshit is that? That's just one of them stupidness. Like, where
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, like where you what? How? What?
So what's the birds? Is that Hitchcock? So is he going to get all the birds to attack you?
Like, exactly. Yeah, that would have been quite good. That would have been sick if you could do. But they would have had to introduce that from first film.
But that's the thing. Film. Why did they not give him the telekinetic powers that Falcon has? Why has he not got them? Like the man's got zero powers. Where does it come from? The helmet or something? Like maybe that would have been a good reason why he had that stupid helmet on. You know what it reminded me of? You know the Super Soaker, like not the Super Soaker, the Nerf gun, yeah? Like the Nerf gun's got like the white edge and it's zigzaggy. That's what it looks like. Nerf gun. It reminds me of like them visor hats with the hood, with the hat taken. What the gamblers have. Yeah, like them poker hats. The top taken off. Like why would you have a helmet with the top taken off? I just don't understand. Why would you have like that's more uncomfortable than it would be. You know what I mean? Like, that don't make sense. In the comic, it looks sick, but I think the reason why it's supposed to look sick in the comic is because the whole Falcon thing, like eagle, bird, like, like wrap around their head, like, how you got the bug eyes as a bird. But it might as well have been like Invincible when he was like, oh, can you put like goggles on me? Because flies getting my eyes when I'm flying. Like, that's literally why man had goggles. Yeah, I thought that's what it's for, isn't it? Like, why couldn't they even give him some super soldier serum in the film? Like, it's in the series, like. Yeah, they should have made him. They should have juiced him. They should have made him a mutant. They need to just give him a suit. They should have made him a mutant or given him some super soldier serum, because having him just a normal guy with a suit was just dry. And then to make him now Captain America with no powers is even worse, because he's no different to the US agent guy. Do you know what I mean? He's no different. Listen, do you know what it reminds me of? You know the scene? He's got superpowers, bro. I mean, before. Oh, yeah. Well, you know that scene, yeah? You know when they go into the building, right? And they send him to basically fend off the flipping top ones who've got the super soldier serum. And then he's going to the other two that are more skilled than him. Like, oh, God, how long are you going to be? I'm doing my best here. Like, why didn't they send Bucky up there? Like, he's trying to hold off these guys. It was like Scooby-Doo when they always put, like, bloody Shaggy with Scooby to go together, and then the others will go the other direction. Like, it doesn't make no sense. He's got like no powers, and then he's sent to fight things. Go on. I think that's the main thing that don't make sense in these things, like because the universe is all linked. Yeah. It's like, why would you send these people to do this job when you got these other people on tap? Like, there's bare people who just get real quick to come deal with this issue. You know what I'm saying? The super soldiers would have an issue with, like, I don't know. For like, you know what I'm saying, there's people around that you can just get to come deal with it quickly. So why would you get why would you get them? Like, why is it gonna be them two? And why, like, this doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't add up, like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, absolutely right. Do you know the story? Obviously it's convenient. When you think about it like that, Joshua, it don't make any sense, because you're right, it's the same universe, right? The blips happened, they've all come out of the blip, they're all knocking about, are they? When does it take place? Is Captain America dead? Is it during? Because it's after the blip, so everyone's come back from the blip now.
It's after Endgame, like.
Yeah, so everyone's. So some people are okay. Iron Man's gone, but like some people are still around.
It's not that long after though. It's not that long after Endgame.
You've got Spider-Man. He's around.
It's not that long after Endgame.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you've still got these guys. You've got Spider-Man. You've got Thor, like you said. You've got people. So, but then you've got Falcon trying to hold these guys off, and Bucky doing his best.
It's not logical.
It was just, and I would also. What was the bit about? What's her name? Who was working with them? Oh God, I've forgotten her name. Is it
Agent Carter or whatever?
Yeah. So was she a double agent or what? Or was she pretending to be a double agent? That was a dead twist.
Well, yeah, she's the power broker, isn't it?
It was weird though.
She gave them She was working with. They were working.
She's the power broker. So basically, since the blip or whatever, she's gone to Madripoor and is just doing shady business, just for power, yeah. But no one knows. The only people that know were Carly
and the other guy who were dead.
Yeah, they're dead. So
she's like a baddie.
Yeah. So then basically, she's turned into a baddie because she was in. She was in Captain America or something before, isn't it? Yeah. So she's now been corrupted. Yeah. So she's turned into a baddie, but no one knows, isn't it? So because she was still helping them and whatever, and they haven't really clocked all the bait stuff that she's been doing. They kind of missed it.
This is what I'm saying. So we were just looking at her on the screen, so no one's gonna come with this then.
So obviously when she's gone back to Washington or whatever, they've honored her and given her a job, but no one knows that she's literally running some criminal empire in Madripoor. So now that's why she was on the phone talking about, I've got access to US secrets and all of this. So that's the next thing that there's obviously something that they're building for future
Where's
things.
Where's that gonna go? Where are they putting that? That's what I want to know.
I reckon
Captain America. Where are you putting that? Where we're gonna?
What they're gonna do is they're gonna get the new
Captain America gonna get involved.
The new Captain America guy probably is gonna go there and probably lock that off.
Which new one? What Sam is?
US agent or who?
US agent.
No, but US agent is a bad. I think US agent is. What are we? Isn't he Hydra? Isn't he baddie?
Is he? Didn't say that they were Hydra, though, didn't she?
No,
my comics
he's
though.
Meant to be bad.
In the comics, US agent's not a baddie.
Oh, is he not?
No.
Now you think first of all he is. First of all he was bad. Then he becomes an anti-hero.
I swear he was a. I don't know. My memory's proper.
He was a baddie, and then he's not.
Yeah, he was a baddie at first because obviously in the Captain America comics they always have different versions of Captain America that are do you know what I mean? That bad one that represents different parts of his
psyche.
Do you know what I mean? So it's this one's bad, this one's impulsive, this one's whatever, this one's black. So I don't think they're probably gonna do a show with him. Maybe they'll send him to Madripoor or something, but that's not the end of that. That's not the end of that. That's why they made a big deal about it. That's why they made a big deal of putting it at the end of the thing.
But what was that supposed to be? That aha moment that Marvel love doing that. One of them ones.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be one of those.
It was supposed to be, but it was obvious from the. I noticed that became obvious at the end of the last episode or at the beginning of this episode. At least, do you know what I mean? Because it was she's the person because she kept saying, the power broker, but it was it didn't seem like there was anyone else. Do you know what I mean? So it was you're the person, do you know what I mean? So, but it was when you realize, is she doing it is she undercover? But then you realize, oh no, she's not undercover. She just likes this. You know what I mean? She likes doing this. That's when you realize, oh, okay. And when they kind of didn't make her die or they didn't make her no one clocked it. It was okay, so that they're using that character for later on. Do you know what I mean? They're obviously going to use that character for something else.
But in a way, she murdered that girl to cover her tracks. She's the one that fired the shot.
Yeah, and remember she spun up that guy in the van as well.
Exactly.
She was going on with some wickedness, man.
She was moving kind of mad, and then but no one's clocking that. And then the thing about
but no one saw it. That's what I'm saying. Remember all the things that she done. To them, from their perspective, it was to help their cause, to help Sam and Bucky and all of that. And she was helping. And all of the really kind of dark stuff that she's that bunning up that guy in the van. And nobody saw that. She did that when no one was around. That's what I mean. So,
so she's another Agnes.
Yeah, another one.
Another Agnes, basically. Like,
you think they're running out of formula?
Yep,
they're running out of formula. Like, flip it out. It's like they're giving you everything you don't really care about. Like, it's good, but it's like no one wants to see these. Like, people want to see people from the films coming. Like, even for this last scene, someone come to link it into something that we're like, oh, okay, it's gonna link to that. Like, we don't want to see these new open things that are going wherever they could go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
That end bit was weird. So, because what you got, they blowed up I can't even speak. They blew up the van, Then you got Zemo, who's back on some, like, you know, prison that's out in the water, skinning teeth about it. And then it's like, oh, okay, so what we doing? And then we've got, you know, the US agent. What we doing? What's going on? It's just and then schmaltzy tearfulness of a bronze statue.
Just convoluted,
man. So many different options that can go anywhere.
It seems like, I don't know. Do you think, this is a question, because remember when we did our very, very, very first podcast, we asked about, you know, I think I asked the question, do you think Disney is going to be good for Marvel? And from what we've been seeing, what do you think now?
You know what? That's a good question, because I was thinking about that after I watched this, and then I thought about WandaVision, and then I started thinking like has it been good? And all in all, I still liked WandaVision. I did think the end kind of went nowhere, but I did like it. I did think it was different, like all of that. I know you didn't like it that much, Rachel, but I did think it got a little bit cheesy, but they were able to. I do think they were able to, like, the excuse will be that it was within the context of the hex and all of that. So like, I can make an excuse for it, and it did entertain me, and I did think it was well done, and it wasn't super cheesy, really, like, apart from the bits that were intentionally like that. With this, when they went back to the Marvel format, I thought it was a bit more of a test of that, because it was like a conventional Marvel format, and I thought the ending was bad. And so I feel like now we're at a critical point, where it's like, okay, so now what would you do next? Like, the next things, and luckily I think, we've got Loki next month. I'm interested to see where that goes. That looks pretty good. So I mean, I'm interested to see where that goes. If that is not good, then I think we can be sure that this has been bad.
No way.
Also, I'm interested to see the Black Widow, like, because I feel like that looks really good, and I'm interested. I know you don't like because she does that same dry move, but like, I feel like as a film, I feel like this is just my thing. When the characters have less powers, I feel like they're forced to do a better storyline.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. It's espionage. It's like twists and
they're
things.
Forced to make the storyline more like meaty, because you can't just rely on man flying and shooting out, like, fire out his hands and all them type of things. That you got to make sure that we can, like, relate to the storyline and the characters and whatever. So they make it more like just a normal film. So I do feel like I'm interested to see whether they do that with Black Widow. And I think between Black Widow, Loki, them two things
coming as well.
Yeah, Hawkeye as well. We've got.
But like,
I know you're trying not to mention it, but it's content, man. Disney Plus needs all the content they can get. They need to put those little squares up on their front screen.
But between all them next few things, we'll see where they're taking it. I feel like we could give them the benefit of the doubt for these two. But I feel like they're at a critical moment now. So I feel like that is a valid question, but only time will tell, innit?
What do you think, Josh?
I was gonna say, sorry, have you seen the sorry to cut it, but have you seen the Shang-Chi trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I know it's coming out. So
you haven't seen the trailer?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, I didn't even follow the comic when I was a kid.
That's good. No, I don't know the comic, but obviously it's with Iron Fist and them lot. But that looks good. It looks something different because it's like martial arts now, isn't it? So it's
we might get something
martial arts and magic, maybe. Yeah, something different. I don't know when it's coming out though.
Well, do you think as well? This is me, like, the ever hopeful DC girl. If someone needs to tap DC on the shoulder, right, and go, look, Marvel are slipping a bit. It's your chance to step in if you're watching what's going on and looking at the reviews, you can see that people are getting that kind of disappointment at the end of Marvel. Like, they're looking at the Marvel formula. Like I've said before, hype it up with the end scenes and with the trailers. It starts good and then it always goes left during the story. Like, where are we going? And then it's a damp squib. That's what the last two examples we've seen. DC just needs to fling out something now. Okay, it's, you know, maybe they do an animation or something. Do like an Into the Spider-Verse. Do like an Invincible. Do something, because they could get some traction now. Because I don't know what's going on for Marvel at the moment. It's madness.
It is bad. But you know what you're saying about the DC animations? They released another one the other day, like Justice Society, and that one's actually like they've gone backwards. Like, you know what I mean? They changed the animation. It's not as good. They've gone backwards. So it's like you're not even taking advantage of this like Marvel doing this. Yeah, I don't get it.
Let's just stick to Image. Let's stick to the independent flipping creators, man, and their stuff. Because Dark Horse, Image, let's go and look at what they're doing. Because
what I feel with a lot of these new series that are like from Image Comics and Dark Horse and all these other stuff, which were like kind of the poor relations back in the day, is that a lot of these characters that back in the day I used to scorn and be like, oh no, these are knockoff Marvel, knockoff DC characters and whatever, which they were to an extent. They had like similar suits, similar powers, similar whatever, There's like X amount of Wolverine knockoff guys. But the thing is, the storylines was so much more dark.
Yeah.
And like it was like, remember, it was a lot of like disgruntled writers and art and artists that were like leaving DC. Maybe, I don't know. This is just my, like, I know that some, but I don't know this as a kind of rule of thumb. But I know some left like disgruntled with, I don't know, bureaucracy and things like that used to happen back in the day with those companies. But I guess if you're Marvel and DC in the 80s and 90s, you're like the most mainstream comic book, like multi-million dollar industry. So most of their storylines, they had dark stuff, but I guess this is like challenging the concept of things like good and evil and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like kind of an alternative narrative to like the usual kind of stuff. That it's not like a goodie and a baddie and whatever. It's all like blurred and things are all a little bit off kilter. And I feel like that's what a lot of these filmmakers now are kind of tapping into with a lot of these characters. Yeah,
and and you know, I know I keep harping on about anime, but also you look at independent kind of like productions that are happening. Josh was reminding me about, is it Yasuke that's coming out, you know, about the Black Samurai, you know, these kind of things. And if you think about Adult Swim, we used to watch a lot of Adult Swim, and that's where you start to see a lot of the kind of indie houses coming up with good stuff. And yes, I think when you look at DC and Marvel, they've kind of relied heavily on their existing roster of characters, but really that should still carry them through. You know, it's only now we're looking and we're saying, what is going on with Marvel with these two series that's just happened? But the last few films that they brought out have been excellent. You know, we still rewatched them. During the pandemic, we watched the whole MCU in like, you know, chronological order. It's only like now the wheels are starting to fall off a bit. It's like they can't do a series.
It's something new though, isn't it? It's not like it's something they've been doing. This is a whole new thing. Like this,
no, because they've done like Agent Carter. They've done.
They never done that. That wasn't them.
Oh, sorry. They done what's his name? I don't think
that's them. That's them.
Like, all them old ones.
Agent Carter. That's nothing.
Oh, they're not Disney. They're not. That's what I meant.
They can't count. Like so.
Not Disney.
I mean, what was Punisher?
New ground for them. Punisher's Netflix. Punisher, Daredevil, they're probably the best ones, and they're Netflix.
They're not Disney, and there's Marvel stuff, but they weren't necessarily Disney Marvel stuff.
It was Fox.
But people love the Mandalorian, Fox. But that's Star Wars. They had a bit of time. They had a bit of time, didn't they, to work?
They did that properly. Mandalorian, they done it properly. Like
also, don't forget, you got to remember, there's a difference between Jon Favreau, the stuff that Jon Favreau does, and anything else. Remember, Jon Favreau did The Mandalorian, and Jon Favreau did a lot of these Marvel movies, yeah. But he's not doing some of these series. He's passing it on to different people. Obviously, he was the one that like set this whole MCU kind of the way they've got everything set up now. He was the one that facilitated that. But he's not directing every single movie and every single thing. So all these series, they're getting like new directors and random people and all of this. So that's why you're getting slightly like different take on stuff, and it's not seeming the same as like some of the movies. It's not like, even though it's just because it's the same characters, but it's not seeming like it's flowing like the same way. Do you know what I mean? Go on.
So it's coming like the last episode of Game of Thrones, like, you know, the most excellent production that kept everybody edge of their seat. And then the last episode, it was like, hurry up, finish. Okay, let's just wrap it all up. And that's what, you know, like you lot have said, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier could have done with a few more episodes to wrap it up properly. Because it literally was like, what? Is that it? What? But it didn't leave me wanting more. That's the problem. It didn't leave me thinking, edge of my seat, can't wait. It was just like, what?
Yeah.
And that's where they effed up, mate. But, sorry, Josh?
I was like, you accepted that it ended. But it's like, but is that it? Okay.
But you weren't gagging for like the next episode. You weren't like, there's so many unanswered questions. You just like, is that what you lot are saying? Yeah, okay. All right. So how did my man even get back to prison? How did Sam get a chance to talk to the Smithsonian about getting my man's bronze statue up? What? Long.
Yeah,
and they listened to, how did they even listen? These were state secrets, yeah? Man isn't even getting super soldier serum. He's not even privy to super soldier serum. He's not the official Captain America, right? So he's not the official Captain America. He hasn't got the super soldier serum. He's out there with Bucky that's just come out of bloody rehab. Yet he's able to talk them into uncovering a state secret that has been kept secret for years about this black guy that was treated unfairly and imprisoned. They were just, let's uncover it. Okay, yeah, we're sorry. You had all that power.
We'll listen to you. Yeah.
That did not make no sense whatsoever. They didn't even. The man had to get his own suit from some undercover from the Wakandans that the Winter Soldier had to help him get. So nobody did anything for him, yet he was able to make them hang their heads in shame and then go and get They go to the Smithsonian and honor this dude that they actually acted like never existed. Okay.